Hey guys, it's Kraze here. Welcome back to another Nitro type video. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about something within Nitro type, specifically cars. That's right. Today's video is about how Nitro type makes their cars or season cars, to be more specific. So let's get right into it. So many of you may know that there have been lots of seasons and some of the more recent seasons that we've had, for example, season 27, which is the current season 26, season 24, season 22, and season 21. They have all had a couple cars in them. But there is something about those cars that makes them interesting, not unique, just interesting on how the company itself, NitroTypeTeaching.com, whatever you want to call it, actually makes their cars. So I've created an image, if I go over to the other tab, on how NitroType actually makes their cars. So let's go ahead and talk about this. As you can see, these cars to the right here, these three cars are all season cars, including this one. These four cars are all season cars. Notice anything about them? Yeah, they're copies. This is how NitroType makes season cars. So what they do is they take an old car that was released back when the game first came out, something from the dealership, or maybe an unreleased car, for example, which we'll get to later. They take something like this, and what they do is about, I want to say, 2011, 2020, it's about 9 years later. What they do is they take that old car and they just put a different design on it. That's what NitroType does. That's how they make their cars quick. And it's not just these cars that they copy and, they just redesign. There are other cars as well. And you guys probably haven't noticed this too often, but for example, the Vapor right here, this car, the Vapor, is just a reskin of the flux capacitor, which is a car from the dealership. The Air 500 is a reskin of the Lamborghini Advent X, which is also a car from the dealership. So NitroType does copy a lot of cars, and there are some other ones as well. For example, the Wavebreaker. The Wavebreaker is a copy of, I believe it's called the Monster. Yep, of the Monster, which is a car from the dealership. So there's obviously a trend going on here with old cars that were released way back when in the dealership that are just copied with a different design. And this isn't a terrible idea. At least they're putting something out. But it's not good, and I feel like NitroType should put more effort into their cars because all they're doing is taking that same design that everybody knows, that same shape, that same body, and just putting like a different color on it and maybe some extra designs. That's really all they're doing, and some of these cars do not look good. If we come over here to the Goblin, you can see the Goblin is one of the worst cars in the game. And there are people that agree with me completely that the Goblin is complete trash. And it's a copy of one of the basic cars. This is like a default car, the Mystics Toad. Right? If we come over to the dealership, just give it a second to load. It's Sports Cube. It's literally one of the original cars. It's super basic as well. And all they did was copy it. So NitroType has been doing this for a long time now. It's been going on for a while. They've done this in past seasons and past years, but obviously their older cars, some things like the Christmas events, those cars I wouldn't really count as being copied because they have their own spin on them. And something like the Midnight Hauler, the Candy Hauler. Candy Hauler is a better example. The Candy Hauler is straight up a redesign of the Mac Daddy, except it has its own theme to it, right? It's got a Halloween theme rather than a basic reskin like the Wave Breaker or the Broadwing. So obviously there are those types of things that make older cars that have been redesigned stand out more. But the main point here is that these newer season cars are all just reskins for the most part, that are really not that good. If we come over here to the 9-bit racer, there have been a lot of people, well, I wouldn't say complaining, but there have been some people that don't really like this car because it kind of gets rid of the original purpose of the 8-bit racer. You know, the 8-bit racer is supposed to be that super rare car that nobody owns except for like a couple people who played back in like 2014, way earlier on in the earlier stages of the game. And they just renamed it to the 9-bit racer, and they gave everybody who has gold, which at this point is practically everyone in the game, this car. And now it's a super basic car, right? Everybody has this. And the 8-bit racer isn't that rare anymore because now everybody has a remodel of it that isn't that great. It's pretty basic. All they did was put some different colors on it and added some dots. Obviously, those dots are like supposed to represent pixel art or whatever. I know that car has a special theme to it, but that's the point I'm trying to sell here to you guys, is that Nitro Type doesn't put a lot of effort into their cars anymore, which kind of sucks. And there's also another thing that they do. If we come back to the image over here, so this car right here, the MSG01, was an unreleased car with a redesign during Season 24. Season 24 was the Halloween season back in 2019, more recent one. And I don't know if you guys can see this, I hope you can at least, but this car is a straight up reskin, or this car right here, the Something Wicked, is a straight up reskin of the MSG1, which was an unreleased car. And once again, all Nitro Type did was put a different color on it and add some flames. That's all they did. They just redesigned the car, right? But Nitro Type didn't stop there with this car. They also redesigned it to the Heartbreaker. So they took this body, then they took this design, and they put it into this. So obviously they changed up the coloring, and then they added the wings on the back. This one is obviously a little harder to tell because the wings add like a special feel to it, but still it's a redesign and a copy of a car. So yeah, Nitro Type obviously nowadays doesn't put a lot of effort into the cars anymore, which, like I said earlier, kind of sucks, but I guess we have to live with it. Nitro Type has been stepping up their game though. These cars right here in Season 27 have been way better than cars like Season 26 and probably the worst season in the game, Season 24. The X1 Eclipse is a completely original car. It's never, completely, there's no shape or body, anything like that car. I do my research when it comes to car copies. Something like the Thai Green, I always have been thinking, oh, that's gotta be a reskin of the Audi R81. But when you put them close up together, you'll actually see that their shape isn't the same. And that leaves me to think that this car is also it's basic, it's a basic car, but it's completely original. Nothing ever has been designed like that before, right? Something like the Air 500, like I said, it has the same shape, but it's got a special feel to it, especially with the glitched animation that's kind of trailing behind the car. And the Vapor, which once again is a flux capacitor redesign, has also that special feel and vibe to it that makes it distinct from other car copies. So that's going to be it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I guess you could call this a rant, kind of, but not really. I just wanted to explain to you guys that how Nitro Type makes their cars. I've had this video idea for a while, but I've never got around to doing it. until now. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please make sure to subscribe. Don't forget to like, turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on any new uploads that are coming out. I'm going to have some good ones coming out soon, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.